having a skills model, what worked for sure was having a project champion who had stature in the community before I had that stature in that community. So having Penny Pritzker was really helpful. Now, everybody might not have a Penny Pritzker. You'll have folks in the community that people believe in, civic leaders or strong leaders that then can generate and build a bigger group of folks. So I think that was really effective. The board, having this advisory board of business executives was incredibly helpful. Using the media as a free source of marketing was incredibly helpful. The media loves things early on, like maximizing that, making it a part of your strategy, really critical. And another piece I'd say was also just a lot of personal conversations with individuals to build trust, to get folks to actually give, and working with them on a dollar amount that I knew could grow over time, but getting their trust to say, work with me here, to create almost a snowball that builds, with funding and with support. One final thing I'd say that really works is piloting. To not boil the ocean, to take a couple clients. You don't need to do 5 or 10 or 20 clients. Get a couple clients and just learn, seize failure and pivot fast on that. But I think those are things I'd say that really worked well. Mistakes that we made along the way, I made along the way. I would say the number one mistake I made was not spending enough time talking to other workforce CEOs to make them comfortable with us in the space. I don't think they would have ever been comfortable with the space, to be honest, because we were being a disruptor. But I think there was a way that I could have personally carried myself in terms of meeting with them to maybe make them less on edge about skills entering the space and fearful that we were going to take their funding. It took me several years to actually hire a vice president of community engagement. And so I think if, you have a community person or you have somebody who's engaged really well strategically with, community partners, just assigning this as part of their work so that they can smooth that out. But I think also to know it's, you're going to have some headwinds on this. Other things I'd say that didn't work, we tried some initiatives, which I'm really glad that we tried, that ultimately proved out, like from a financial perspective, were not viable. We looked at becoming a temporary staffing agency here at Skills. Maybe one of you out there will figure out how to do that. We couldn't figure out how to do that financially in a way that was going to make sense because we didn't have the scale for it. So we'd spent some good amount of time on that. Because you have a limited number of roles you could fill, we had some jobs combined that were not naturally combined and made it hard for us to find the right people. So for example, we had the head of business development and the head of talent acquisition combined into one position, and we kept having what we perceived as kind of failures in that, when the reality was it was really good people, but it was two different skill sets that were combined into one. And I think that was an unreasonable expectation that we had. So the use of contractors, I think, is a good way to get started when you're not ready to have, a series of full-time jobs yet.